Hey, welcome to the Tulsa World Scene podcast. I'm Jimmy Tranwell. I'm joined by Louisa Clausen and Victor Lopez. We just got back from seeing the red carpet premiere Monday of Twisters, a shot in Oklahoma movie. Of course, a sequel to Twister in 1996. For just to let folks know, there was a red carpet experience with three of the actors, the director, a producer prior to the film. Then we watched the film itself. It was you guys' first red carpet experience. What did you think it might be going in? And then what was the reality once you actually experienced your first red carpet?
Hi, everybody. I grew up watching red carpets and watching movies. My mom always loved it. We watched every single one. And so I kind of expected something grand and huge and a bunch of people and a bunch of photographers and just chaos. And it was not chaos whatsoever. It was an organized chaos. Between, what I was expecting in reality, I was expecting something a lot bigger than it was, but it was kind of exactly how I pictured it still.
Yeah,
Victor?
hello. On my end, I going expectations on red carpet. It's my first one ever. I did expect a little bit of chaos on everything, just how everything was gonna go. I knew I was gonna wait for a while, which is exactly what happened, but it was a lot more chaotic for me just because I had a deadline to make up for. So getting everyone in there, getting all the photos I needed, and then just all five photographers just huddled up. I was on the other end from you two. I was separated. So for me, that
Yes.
was really chaotic because it was all five of us in this little corner just trying to get all of our images in of all these actors as they're gonna pass by in like 2 minutes. So that was really chaotic, really stressful, but it was also a really fun experience for me.
We only know these actors from what we've seen on movies or on television. We don't know them, but you get a feel for them after being face to face. What were your impressions of the actors after being face to face with them?
Victor, you go first. You saw them before us.
I saw him. I didn't get to talk to him, but I did see him beforehand. For me, it just makes these actors, it just makes them more human because you're used to seeing them on a screen. They're playing these characters, they're playing these heroines. You don't really know who they are. You just know what they're playing. So just being able to see them in person kind of connects them, makes me think of them as more human, connect to them like, oh, these could be just this guy that I talked to at a bar or at a deli. It just makes them more of a connected, a more down to earth kind of experience.
I'm a fan of a lot of people, and I've always had the idea of like I don't want to meet them so that that idea that I have doesn't get destroyed. But it was completely the opposite. I've been keeping up with Anthony Ramos, Glen Powell for a while. I watched Daisy Edgar Jones' previous movies. I kind of expected them to be more closed off than they were. They were so nice. They looked in everybody's eyes. They introduced themselves kind of as if we didn't know who they were. They were very, very nice. Anthony Ramos, I was very surprised with how talkative and invested he was for the entirety of the red carpet. And that was really fun to watch. And I guess kind of what Victor said of just a reminder that, yeah, I mean, they're famous and doing big movies, but they're still humans and they still have fun stories to tell. So that was really cool.
Yeah, of course, everyone was on their best behavior because they have a movie to sell. I mean, they want people to
Right.
see this movie. But we'll move on from red carpet to movie, unless you guys anything else you guys want to say or ask about the red carpet experience before we go into the movie itself.
I want to ask you, Jimmy, you've been
Okay.
to a few. Was there anything different in this one that didn't happen in the other ones? What stood out to you in this Twister's red carpet?
Just the local appeal. I mean, it's the most I've seen as far as a fan standpoint. Fan's probably the wrong word. Just but people who wanted to show up and be part of the festivities. There was a lot of that going on. The crowd behind us. Victor did a great job of getting some images of the people behind us watching. But I just, I mean, like Louisa, like you said, sometimes you don't want to meet someone who is famous, or especially someone who is a hero, someone you admire, because if it goes sour, can you really like them anymore? But I thought I left with a higher opinion of everyone than I came in with before. And props to the people who put it on because I thought it was really professionally run and organized. There were no,
I agree.
even if they took somebody away from you, you were about to get, they promised you like, hey, we're going to bring them right back.
And I kind of wanted to ask you, got to see some of your colleagues from like different newspapers or news organizations. How fun is that when you get to kind of have everyone in the same room and chat for a little bit before the stars walk the carpet?
It was neat to see like Brandy from the Daily Oklahoman, and I'd never met Andy Hancock in person, who's at the Norman Transcript, but I know her
Amazing.
family. It was great to see Andy in person and be shoulder to shoulder with those folks, asking questions. After the red carpet ends, there's almost no time between that and then bam, you go right into the movie.
Hmm.
The same people who were on the red carpet came to the movie premiere in Oklahoma City and addressed the crowd. And you know what? I I liked the comments they gave to the crowd
Me too.
better than the quotes they gave on the red carpet because they were speaking from the heart as opposed to answering our questions. I know it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
It
it feels like
does.
what they told the crowd at the premiere uh, was more so something, a message they wanted to share, as opposed to let me try to answer your question.
It felt personal and kind of exciting. It was like a homecoming. They kept saying that, and it did feel like that.
And then we go into the movie itself. Victor, what do you think of the movie?
I think it's a very fun movie. I grew up in Arkansas, so I didn't know much about tornadoes until I moved here to Oklahoma. And the movie just kind of encapsulates everything that I thought of tornadoes when I was in Arkansas, thinking back of Oklahoma. And it just everything about it, I really enjoyed. Like from you get your scenes of these tornadoes, these F5 tornadoes that are happening. You're able to see the horror that it has, like just a touch of it, I guess. You're in movies, you're not ever able to show like the encapsulating horror of a tornado that can actually do to families, but you get a sense of it. You get a sense of danger that these people are going through in the movie. And I just think everything that played out as a photographer just with CGI and just the looks of the movie was great. It played out well. It looked good, and I enjoyed
Lisa?
it.
Victor and I were laughing throughout the whole thing, or just like I was grabbing his arms, and I'm not someone who really enjoys something so, oh, loud and tragedy and all of that. But I was so captivated by the characters. And I thought I've been in Oklahoma for about 5 years. I'm from Brazil. I was not raised near this reality. I've always been terrified of tornadoes. And so this is the idea you have when you're not living in here. We obviously know there's a difference between reality and movies. Absolutely. But it was kind of cool to hear, Stillwater, Sapulpa, and like this Oklahoma City is in such a big movie. It was a lot of fun. And I was stunned by Daisy Edgar Jones. I was mesmerized by her. I could have watched her all day long. She could have just stayed in that screen. It was really good. What'd you think, Jimmy?
Um, I thought it did pay tribute and honor the first movie as it should. I mean, I had the luxury to interview Helen Hunt about Twister maybe a month or two ago, and I kind of joked with her like in Oklahoma, Twister it's a Citizen Kane of movies. There's more of an admiration and an adoration of Twister in Oklahoma than any other place because
Right.
it filmed here, it's set here, we live in Tornado Alley. So I thought it did a good job of honoring the original movie with some shout outs like Muskogee State University. That's where the characters went in both films. Bill Paxton's son made a cameo in Twisters, and it's very heavy on action. It feels like a
Mhm.
storm chaser movie throughout. And then ironically, not ironically, in preparation for this, the director watched a lot of car chase movies
Mm.
to film those car chase scenes because he'd never filming Minari, which is a completely different kind of movie. He'd never done a car chase scene before.
Wow. And I guess that's one of my questions for you, kind of like you interviewed the director. What is something that you learned from this and from the movie that we didn't hear in the red carpet on they were addressing the crowd before the movie, something that viewers would be like, oh, it's good to know that they did that to accomplish the movie.
Well, combination of production notes and the interview that I had with the director,
Mm-hmm.
he really gets a shout out for making sure the movie was filmed here.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, there was a faction of people who wanted to film this in Georgia because of the film incentives, just for money's sake.
Right.
And he and some other people drove like 1,000 or more miles all over Georgia, and he saw nothing that screamed to him, "This is Oklahoma," or this could even fake be
Yeah.
Oklahoma. So a compromise was made. They came up with a deal, and of course the movie was filmed right here.
I I like yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Victor, what would you say was your favorite part of the movie?
I, going into it, I didn't really set much expectations for myself for the movie, but I think I really enjoyed like the wow factors of the tornadoes, just those, just showcasing it, the sounds, the visuals, everything that went into it. The directors just really just showed you what a tornado is when it gets that big and that dangerous. As well, like the opening scenes of the movie with the F5. That was like just seeing that and how dangerous, like they, most movies you don't see people get killed off so quickly. You get build up to him, you get to know him, you get to see him more, and then you'll see like maybe they died. But in this, you see them just get sucked up by the tornado in the, not, wouldn't say gruesome, that's not okay, just like in a real way, like how
Spoiler.
it would happen to people.
It was
And it's just like
terrifying.
something
Yeah.
that took me
It
by
was
surprise.
absolutely terrifying.
And I really enjoyed that the movie like just immediately hooks you in with this. Like not immediately, it builds you up a bit, but just hooks you in with what this movie's about. It's about tornadoes, and this is what tornadoes do.
I really enjoyed the terrifying at the start. That, like you said, it hooked people, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed something very funny. I don't want to ruin it for people. That happened at the end in kind of an airport scene.
Yeah.
Uh, but what Louisa, what were some of your favorite takeaways from the film?
I will say before I get to the movie specifically, I really like that they involved meteorologists in the movie, and like they were in the red carpet, and they, it felt like everything that they were saying. I mean, I don't know how right that is because I'm not a specialist, but when you watch the movie, you kind of get an understanding of what a tornado is, how it starts, and it kind of for me, I'm so terrified of tornadoes. The movie kind of helped me understand, kind of how it works, and I feel like that was a good thing. I mean, but my favorite part, I'm a romantic person. I can't, every time there's like a connection between characters, I enjoy that. And I think that's what made me want to watch till the end with a movie that's so, um, tornadoes and running and all of that. I agree. The opening scene was spectacular. I loved it. Um, it was probably the best part of the movie to me. I was just like, out of breath and immediately drawn to what was going on. Um, and I did enjoy the toward the end, like the last two scenes and the last tornado and the airport. I thought that was a good way to end it.
Well, let's wrap up with this. Give me your parting shot on Twisters.
You go, Victor.
Me? Could you repeat that question again?
What just give me a final thought on Twisters as we wrap up here.
Just a final thought. I thought it was a really fun and enjoyable movie just about tornadoes. As someone who is from Oklahoma, it was really enjoyable. And for people out of Oklahoma that don't live here, you get a sense of just how scary these things can be for people that do live here in Tornado Alley. As Anthony Ramos has put it before, he says people that live in Tornado Alley are heroes.
Hmm.
I guess my thing would be I'm from Brazil, and my family, my friends had no idea what Oklahoma was before I came here. And having movies like this, Killers of the Flower Moon, Tulsa King, and now Twisters, it's really fun to put Oklahoma on the map. And I think having actors who enjoy doing this and who are posting on their social medias and who are talking about Oklahoma, I mean, it's really fun, and it makes us feel, recognized and look, hey, look, here we are. And so I did enjoy that it was here. I did enjoy that they came to a red carpet here, that they stayed through the movie, the main actors, the director. And the movie, I will say to everybody who's thinking about watching it, you don't have to go with the idea that's going to be just like the first one, or that it's going to be so realistic, because it is a movie. And so once you don't have that expectation of like it's going to be just like we go through, no, and you kind of can have a little bit of fun with it and just enjoy the movie.
Well, there were two disasters in the movie. One was tornadic storms. The
Right.
other was I ate too much popcorn too fast. I had to go splash some cold water in my face to get back in the game again. But I enjoyed watching the movie with you guys.
Me
Thanks
too.
for talking about the movie with me and the red carpet experience. Thanks so much for people who watch this Zoom podcast, and we'll
Yeah.
behave, and we'll see you later. Thank you.
Yeah. Wouldn't have
Thank
want to
you.
do this with anybody else. Thank you guys.
Thank you.